I'm the wholesome it girl, the essence aesthetic, and if you're new here, you're cool here. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, dark skin representation in media. Throughout history, Black American women have been subjected to the same five tropes over and over again. These tropes include the Jezebel, the Mammy, the Sapphire, the Savior, and the angry Black woman. However, every once in a while, a golden goose is allowed to spring forward and we get the bougie Black character. I love her, she is me, and I'm her. And today we're going to be highlighting some of my favorite bougie dark skinned women throughout media. When you think back to the main characters of some of your favorite TV sitcoms, most likely they have a gorgeous but overlooked dark skinned counterpart. Some of the ones that come to mind are Pam from Martin, Dejanay from The Proud Family, and many, many more. One of my favorite modern depictions of a dark skinned American woman has to be Hilary Banks in her readapted role by Coco Jones. Coco Jones represents a newly crafted Hilary Banks, one with ambition and more than five brain cells, if we're being honest. Coco Jones really did her thing on this show. She's portrayed as a up and coming content creator in the realm of cooking, and she's also in a relationship. Coco Jones has two beautiful melanated parents, Phil and Vivian, and they're both to die for. This readaptation of Bel-Air really shows what media could be if they gave every dark-skinned American character the same chance. Bel-Air is so forward-thinking and modern that I think we all should really subscribe to Peacock and watch it. No, this is not sponsored, but I feel like just having an affluent Black American family on television is just chef kiss, and we all should go for it. And not to mention the fashions, honey. They are eating from Carlton to the dad to Jeffrey, girl. Ooh, Jeffrey is giving. Bel-Air is just a chocolate paradise, and we all should tune in. Vivian is an artist in the show. She's actually decided to retire from being an artist to be a supportive wife to her husband Phil, who is running for office, and he's also running a law firm. Vivian has a lot of ambition, but we get to see a supportive wife depicted on television. And many of the shows that we see today with families, not a lot of them have serious undertones like Bel-Air, and we often don't get to see a fully functioning Black family. Guess we had a show called Blackish, but we know why it's called Blackish. So to have a fully melanated family of affluence, success, and to see them in a positive life for me is groundbreaking. I appreciate the female characters specifically because it gives young girls like myself in the early 2000s a way to see themselves as more than just ratchet. In a world where women like Sexy Red and Sukiyana are often trending and talked about, it's nice to have positive dark skin representation. Speaking of Y2K, I've always loved Toni from Girlfriends. Granted, Maya was also on the show. I just really was over the ratchetness of it all, the angry Black woman of it all. Just the stereotypical single mother, divorce, African American vocabulary. It was just so, I just knew at a young age that that was like oversaturating my television. You have to understand, I had to be between the ages of like what, 9, maybe 7, maybe 8. And from all the Proud Family, I was watching Dejanay and her crop top and her overly annoying obsession with Sticky was enough for me. And we also had the Parkers that had the same exact trope. You have our dark-skinned American woman who is overly in love with a man who has no wants for her, but at a click of a finger, they'll have a high yellow, biracial, or racially ambiguous leading lady on their arm. And I just as a young woman of a darker skin tone, I just knew that I was sick of seeing it. So when I saw Toni on my screen, although I didn't know what was going on in the show, I just knew that she was it. Okay. Toni from Girlfriends had to be one of the first depictions of a bougie Black woman that I have ever seen. I was absolutely drawn to her character from the first time I've ever seen her. Although I was very young, probably under the age of 10, I knew that Toni had something special about her. She had ambition. She knew that she was that girl. She was confident. She loved the skin that she was in, and she went after what she wanted. Toni was very much so modern. She was a real estate agent and she was working her way up the ladder. She knew that she was that girl wherever she was, and the people always gave her that energy. Although Toni came from humble beginnings, she was able to claw her way out of it and become a successful wife. Although I'm hearing that's not the ending of Girlfriends, but I'm only on season 4, so don't spoil it for me. Toni had to be one of my favorite people simply off of the way that she carried herself, the way that she complimented herself, and the way that she depicted herself. Not to mention the fashions. The fashions were giving. When I'm telling you, Toni could wear any color that she wanted. She's making me want to wear green. I think I might wear green tomorrow. Honestly, it's just something about seeing yourself depicted on your TV screen that does something for your self confidence. And with that being said, did you know that Fashion Nova got a new model? The model is a dark skinned woman. Here's some photos of her. And just look at this picture of her. Seeing yourself depicted on many different avenues outside of the media is really important because it allows you to have a clear perspective of who you are and what you can be. Seeing this color on dark skin just does something for me. And I remember shopping on Fashion Nova and just being like, hold on, are we the same color, girl? And not only are we the same color, but you're showing me that I can wear other colors besides my obviously muted wardrobe. Back to Girlfriends, I realized that Toni was able to modernize the way that Black American women are depicted in media. Another one of my favorite bougie Barbies depicted in media has to be Coco from the show Dear White People. She is a young lady who knows what she wants and she's gonna go get it, and she doesn't feel like she has to conform to social norms. Why should you hold yourself back from the ambitions that you have just because society deems someone of your hue and your complexion as unworthy to having such? She went for everything that she wanted, and not only did she achieve it, but she also managed to find a group of friends outside of her average Black American population. I mean, Coco had nothing but white friends, and while they were wearing Hermes, she was wearing Michael Kors, and you literally couldn't tell because she was that girl. It was authentic. It was nothing inauthentic about her, and she really, really fought to be the woman that she became. Now, we do have depictions of dark skinned women in reality television. Some of my favorite include New York. She was one of the first dark skinned women I've seen in reality television that really made a name for themselves. And I remember being in elementary school and middle school and having New York as the only dark skinned woman to reference outside of Kelly Rowland. And I wasn't ashamed. Like, I wasn't ashamed. New York was authentically herself. She was giving main character energy and she made the show what it was. And the same thing could be said about Lanithia Leaks as well as Marlo Hampton. I feel like dark skinned American women in the depiction that they have in media definitely needs to move forward, but I feel like we're heading in the right direction. If you have time, please check out Bel-Air on Peacock. It's a great depiction of Black women in media, from Aunt Viv being middle aged, as well as Coco Jones of being a young adult. And also, the 90s also had a wonderful variety of dark skinned actresses. We had Pam from Martin, as mentioned before. We also have this person. I don't know what her name is, but I remember watching this movie and saying, wow, like, that is a gorgeous woman. And I know I cannot be the only dark skinned young woman who look forward to seeing women of my hue being represented positively on television. And not to mention Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell is still one of my favorite role models. She has absolutely paved the way for half of my self-confidence, I'm not even gonna lie, just by just being a delicate, feminine woman. Like, she is just I gotta make a whole separate video about Naomi Campbell because I'm just so grateful for her presence as well as all that she did as a dark skinned woman throughout history. I mean, you can't mention Naomi Campbell and not just see just all things femininity and just class and sophistication. All right, I know what y'all thinking. We're not gonna bring up her arrest and her anger issue. We're not gonna do that. That's not what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna talk about her beauty and just her overall representation as a model and the progressiveness that came with that. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and please also comment below some of your favorite bougie characters throughout history and even some of your most notable dark-skinned American role models. I would love to hear it. As always, if you're new here, you're cool here. Thanks for visiting, and I'll see you in the next video.